Rockville, a city that is always changing, evolving, and adapting to the needs of its community. People from all over the world have come here to take part in the American dream, all while infusing their cultures and perspectives to make Rockville one of the most diverse cities in the nation. Rockville 11 is shining a spotlight on some of those residents and business owners who are proud to call this city their own and be part of the My Rockville movement.
My name is Alexandra Desdenito.
My name is John Chu.
Hi, I'm Susan Mabey.
And I'm Tom Mabey.
I'm Jorge Restrepo.
I'm Mark. Hi, I'm Lionel.
I'm Jenny Stepanek, mom to Katie, Stevie, Jamie, and Maddie Stepanek.
And welcome to My Rockville.
Welcome to My Rockville.
Welcome to My Rockville.
This is my Rockville.
My Rockville.
Better yet, this is our Rockville.
I'm the Cultural Arts Commissioner with the City of Rockville, and I have been involved in the arts for most of my life. Since growing up, I did acting and dance and theater, and I taught dance as well. So I joined the Arts Commission to just give my perspective and knowledge and to help benefit the arts of the community here. People-wise, you can go to different communities in the Rockville area and meet a lot of different people, which is very, very unique too. And I love that about Rockville. It's one of the main reasons why we came here. We wanted our kid to grow up in a very diverse area because he's also culturally diverse, and I'd love for him to be in a place where he feels at home.
Home. Home because it's where I landed. It's it was like fate. It's where my husband and I put our luggage down, and this is where my children got to grow up. My Rockville is special because it's diverse, and it reminds me a lot of Réunion Island. Réunion Island, I grew up colorblind because people came in all sort of color. So coming here, I found exactly the same thing, even though the language was different. Almost everybody has an accent here in Rockville, or a different story, something to tell that remind me of the common thread that we all have. So I found goodness here. I found a family here within my neighbors, and that's why we decided to stay.
Well, when we moved here, our son was 7, and he has special needs. We moved to Rockville in Montgomery County because of its world-class educational system, and you know, even from where we moved in New England, we heard about the special education here that was fantastic. And so, you know, even though I was planning to homeschool him, we also wanted to move to a place where we knew those resources were going to be available. And in Twin Brook, we had lots of children. The family behind us was also homeschooling. We met them after living here about a year, and so they helped us, you know, integrate into a wonderful homeschool community, you know, teaching him the things he needed to learn, and then to integrate back into, very successfully into the Montgomery County public school system. And it was very, very challenging, but it was, I would say, probably to date my biggest accomplishment.
Coming up on Rockville 11's My Rockville Special, we'll introduce you to a business owner who is part of the My Rockville movement, right after this. Businessman Jorge Restrepo's success story started in South America and landed right here in Rockville. and his business is now a part of the My Rockville movement.
My grandfather, Jorge Restrepo Uribe, he was mayor of Medellin and he was a congressman in Colombia. I follow a lot of the inspiration on what he did throughout his life. So that's why I have him in my office and I look up, okay, Abuelito, what would you do now? I am from Colombia, from Medellin, Colombia. I always had some plan to come to the United States. When I finished with my dad, we had talked about it. When I finished high school, I came and started chemical engineering. But it turns out that I didn't like the chemistry aspect as much. So I went back to Colombia and I studied business. Later on, I wanted to come here because I found that there were a lot of opportunities. My first search was to look for a place that was going to be convenient to Metro, that was going to be accessible to different parts of the capital area. So at first I found one vacant suite in a basement right here in Rockville, and I started there. And then after that, I found that Rockville offered more and more. The kind of work that is done in this area also attracts a lot of companies like ours that does research. We operate a focus group facility, so we have to bring a lot of people to participate in interviews and in focus groups. And we're able to find people from every single walk of life right here in Rockville. The reasons why I am in Rockville, why I chose to grow and want to continue to grow in Rockville, go beyond the kind of the business location. It's the people, and that makes it the space, the place, the community where I can call my Rockville.
Up next on Rockville 11's My Rockville Special, we share a story of a couple that is proud to be part of Rockville's LGBTQ community. That's next. Mark and Lionel are helping to strengthen the LGBTQ community's presence, and in that, making them a part of the My Rockville movement.
When we moved here, we were looking at different areas, and we found many of them very welcoming. But we learned the difference between maybe welcoming and affirming. And here in Rockville, we found that it is not only a very inclusive place, but also very affirming of us and of families like ours.
One of the things that I love about our neighborhood, and I thought it was just our neighborhood, but I actually realized that it's like all over Rockville, is just in 2 blocks in our neighborhood, we have at least 5 to 7 countries represented, as well as people from the LGBTQ community. And it's something that I have never seen anywhere else. I think when you are exposed to what happens when different cultures and different peoples with different backgrounds come together, you realize how much richer your life is, and how much more you learn, and how much open you become, and how much more of a better person you become.
An amazing thing happened a few years after we moved here. We were asked to be on a group that was helping to name this new school that opened in our neighborhood. And the process was amazing because the city of Rockville and the mayor and the council and everyone is very supportive of getting a name that represents the culture and the people in our neighborhood and in the city. And so we worked on a group that ultimately came up with the name Bayard Rustin Elementary School. And Bayard Rustin was an openly gay civil rights leader. And it turns out that the naming of this school was the first time in our state that a school was named after an openly LGBT person.
And what a way to show not just commitment, but an affirming culture, right? Because it's not only about being accepting, it's about going beyond and making an extra effort to really validate what the members of the community are made of. And it's an incredible example of things we can do to embrace the younger LGBT community and make them feel welcomed and loved and appreciated for who they are, and really let them focus on their academics, on having fun and learning and becoming great people.
Still to come on Rockville 11's My Rockville Special, a warrior for peace tells us why she is proud to be part of the My Rockville movement.
Love begins with understanding.
We are people of every color, creed, gender, ability, and lifestyle.
We are united in humanity, our diversity,
in our acceptance of one another.
We are stronger together.
For our children.
For our economy.
For our well-being.
To ensure a bright future.
Inclusion is the best option.
This is a conversation, and it's time to talk.
Jenny Stepanek, a mother who is working to keep her son's legacy and message of peace alive, is making that mission part of the My Rockville movement.
Maddie and I lived in a number of places prior to his books being published, usually in different basements where people, would let us rent space in the basement. When his books began selling and we realized we had the income necessary to actually move into our own home, we began looking for a community that was accessible for both he and I in wheelchairs, and also that was diverse. We wanted to move someplace where there was a celebration of humanity, where people looked at each other and spoke to each other. And we looked all over Maryland, all over Virginia, all over DC. A friend of ours lived in Rockville and said they're building new condos, new community called King Farm. At least come and look. So we came and we looked. And first of all, the layout of the condo that they showed us was perfect. And then we looked at the community as it was being planned. Next to Metro, next to community college, next to all kinds of amenities. And then the last step was we went to Safeway. And we literally sat at the coffee shop and watched who came into the store. And as they came in, Maddie would say hi and see the response. And people looked up and said hi and spoke back to him. People, every shade of skin, different languages and accents, different type of dress. And Maddie looked at me and he said, "This is home." Rockville is a role model for how leaders can say, we're going to make peace a priority. We're going to put peace on our calendar. The leaders show up at the events. The leaders talk about Maddie's message in council meetings. We have all kinds of examples of how to begin, what to do next, and how to make it an attitude, a habit, a reality. And the city of Rockville wants to start bringing some of these activities into events beyond Peace Day. Their diversity events, their flags from around the world, and they're making sure that for every nationality represented in Rockville, there's a flag in Rockville because we celebrate you as us and us as you. My Rockville is awesome. My Rockville is a heartbeat for peace. My Rockville is a root of hope. Hope is not an illusion. Hope is an energy that can be transformed into action. And My Rockville transforms hope into action, and that action leads to peace. And I am so happy that I live in my Rockville.
These are just some of the My Rockville stories, and we want to hear your stories too. Join the My Rockville movement through social media. Snap a shot of you enjoying this great city and use the hashtag MyRockville on Twitter at Rockville411 or at Rockville11, and on Instagram at city_of_Rockville. And stay connected with the city of Rockville by checking out our YouTube channel. For Rockville 11, I'm Kathy Dantzler. Until next time, Rockville.